You're listening to WEEI Late Night
on WEEI. WEEI.
And streaming everywhere on the Odyssey app.
With the 29th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Cole Strange, guard, Chattanooga.
Late night WEEI. KJ, thank you so much for spending your time here. You could hear the dead silence there in Vegas. It felt like a cocktail party at 6:30 when the event's not supposed to start till 9. You've ever been to like these four-year areas where people just drinking their drinks and they're having their own conversations, like they're kind of ignoring the small announcements on this? That's what it felt like when Cole Strange's name was announced as the first round pick for the New England Patriots.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Yeah, well, so here's when I saw the number 69 and people putting the number Strange on there, I'm just like, this gets stranger than fiction. Then by chance that night, Nick, this is no lie, I turned to like the Discovery or some type of channel, and there was this show called Strange Sex, and I was like, why is Cole Strange's name showing up in all these different things? It was weird.
That's one of those shows you would like randomly turn on just for the fun of it at like 2 o'clock in the morning because you have no idea what it's about, and it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, it's not Cinemax quality grade stuff. But Cole Strange is kind of part of the narrative that I've been saying about Bill Belichick, is that Bill is kind of checked out. Is the pick the wrong guy? Well, no, it's not the wrong guy. It's just at the wrong place. It's like my father has this ability to dance the electric slide the complete opposite way as people are going the right way. Belichick was my father at the draft. Like, what? Like, huh? Like, this is who you take? Here's to prove my point, because you say, okay, well, we know what happened beforehand. You can't say, well, the Patriots weren't going to move. Imagine if they moved up to get Cole Strange. Oh, my gosh. And some people even think of that. Here are the offensive linemen that were taken after Cole Strange and their number without getting deep into them. I'll just say where their number and their pick was. 51, 57. Now, keep in mind, after Cole Strange at 29, the next offensive lineman comes at 51.
And I was telling
and that's where Cam Jurgens is from. 51, Cam Jurgens, 57, 59, 65, 67, 69, 72, 75, 79, and 90. Here's the only argument that I will make on Belichick's behalf. The only one. All those numbers I called before 90 were all before the Bills, before Bill had a third-round pick. So if you took him in the second round, then what would you have taken in the first round? Now, so many of us were screaming linebacker. I don't know. Many people remember the very last game the Patriots played, and the defense didn't stop anyone. But when you hear Cole Strange's name, I was like, wow, the Patriots just drafted a guy in the first round who can't catch a touchdown and who can't tackle people. And those are the two biggest issues. Really? Here's Mel Kiper on the Cole Strange draft pick.
We're going to describe that as a surprise. Mel, 6'5", 307 pounds, briefly went to Air Force, then to Chattanooga. Now he's a first-round pick.
Well, it could be a second-round pick. Remember Logan Mankins out of Fresno State when the Patriots took him in the late first round? Everybody kind of shook their head, said, how could you do that? Cole Strange had a second-round grade. Cole Strange is a guy who started 40-plus games with UT Chattanooga. Was even used at center at the Senior Bowl, struggled with the snaps. He only had one start at center at UT Chattanooga, so he needs work on the shotgun snap, but he has a chance to be maybe down the road a guy to help you at center, but he's going to be a guard that can help you right away. That's what the Patriots needed to fill. So, yeah, you can say it's a reach based on what the number was in terms of the grade, but he's a good football player. He was one of the best non-1A players coming into this draft was Cole Strange.
Okay, I got my hand up like a kid in a classroom. Can we make a kind of like a BCAD thing, but it's going to be BTAT before Tom and after Tom? So when we're discussing how you find these gems in the dirt and guys from out of nowhere, did it happen before or after Tom? Like, did it happen like, well, it can't be before Tom, but it's like the ACB, the BCAD thing, right? Like Christ, because Tom is Christ. Did it happen when Christ and Tom walked the earth here in New England? You can take chances like that. Look, playoff Sony, right? you got 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks out of him. First rounder. But Tom was here. Tom's not here. There's no margin for error. And this feels like this is a Belichick first-round pick, as if Tom Almighty is still here. For God's sakes, as much as we clown Buffalo here in Boston and across New England about their fan base, and the latest, I'm sure you've seen it, or I've just recently seen it pop up on social media, that they actually have printed shirts of all of their drives against the Patriots in that playoff game.
That is such a loser thing to do, by the way.
And then, so why go get it like that? So while I totally agree, you have to recognize that the guy you picked in the first round is not going to address, I don't know, your division rival from making T-shirts saying that we didn't have to punt.
I feel like some of their offseason did that, though, by signing Jabril Peppers. I feel he's going to play linebacker for them. And they traded for Mac Wilson as a linebacker.
Safety, as he's the roaming guy now.
He's always been a hybrid player, and that's what they're doing. They have hybrid safety / linebacker. Adrian Phillips can come up and play in the box. All their safeties can come up and play in the box.
But you need guys who play in the middle. Who is going to be the spy on Josh Allen? Right, like
Jabril Peppers
from the back. Like you want to bring
he's
a guy
not playing
up.
Safety.
But if he's roaming, like you would want to have a guy who's stationary and then make your moves on Josh Allen versus
potentially linebacker.
Ask any female if they say he has potential, that means she has an option. And there are other options out there that I think Bill should have gone after in the first round. Even if you went cornerback, saying you've got to replace an all-pro, even though you do have a collection of cornerbacks, at least this is someone you can hide within there. Even if you went defensive tackle to shore up the line. But the issue is the middle, the age was there last year, and now it's gone. You went from old to like question mark. And that's just the bigger issue.
Anything is better.
The question is, do you replace them with younger people whose skills can grow in same said position? Look, this is where I say that Bill has kind of checked out. Dude is kind of checked out, and he's making his way. This is not. Look, here's where I also understand why Bill made this pick, and it's strictly financial. When you get to a fifth-year option, are you going to have to potentially pay out more for, say, a linebacker where the rates are higher than for an offensive lineman? Right? It's all value, right? Like, these dollar stores, like Bill is a dollar store shopper when it comes to this stuff. And I get it, but you can't be surprised when the pen ink runs out quick or the batteries only last 2 or 3 days. Here's Sean McVay and Les Snead and their infamous now reaction to the Cole Strange pick on the night of the draft.
Really? Just win. Oh, my UT Chattanooga to the first round. Hey, where is...
How about that? And we wasted our time watching him thinking he'd be at 104, maybe.
Wow. And you know what's crazy? They got an offensive lineman at 104. Tell me that at least not 5 to 10% of you believes that Belichick is starting to make his way out. When the blaring issues are right in front of you, and keep in mind the noise to get a wide receiver simmered down. It's kind of like, hey, okay, Bill, defense. If there's an area of your bank and savings and loans, that's old school, that we trust is your choice on defense. We believe what you can do on defense. Yeah. Now, here's what's crazy. The rest of the draft, I didn't really have a problem with, other than nobody was a linebacker.
All the rest.
Because everything else is look-see. Like, if you're not going to go get a need, then everything else is look-see. Everything else is look-see. Even the Bailey, the Bailey stuff, right? Where, like, is he going to replace Mac? No. I mean, yeah, it's because, like, Stidham wasn't around last year. This guy may be the new Stidham. Now, in Bill's thinking potentially. You get a guy at 4th round, you give him some good reps in the offseason, and maybe in a couple of years, someone may come with a very good deal for him. You know, Lord forbid any injury happened to Mac, but almost kind of in a Jimmy G situation, though that wasn't an injury. It's more the Jacoby. Bailey's not going to see the field a lot, if at all.
Well, Brissett played.
Again, this may be one of the guy may look good in mop-up duty. He may look good in a game where it's a blowout. I'll put it this way. This would be the time where, obviously, this team is in a rebuild, and it's very hard to say that about a team that just went to the playoffs last year with a rookie quarterback. You would think, hey, you could build on this momentum. That's why I'm going back to saying this. Tell me that you don't think at least 10% of you thinks that Bill is on his way out, on his own volition. Because you're setting up your plans for how you're going to make the way out, and you start doing some small things to take care. Everything is based upon how you last lost and what your division looks like, right? Because the first thing you have to do is win your division. If you're going to tell me that this team, the way the defense is constructed right now, is going to beat Buffalo twice or win the division or even beat Miami twice, which it didn't do last year, no. Like, if you're Tyreek Hill or if you're Stephon Diggs and you just saw what the Patriots drafted, do you go, oh, wow, they got something going there? Man, no. They got a really nice running back room now to discuss some people who could do some things. You got a wide receiver who could potentially fly and
he can fly.
Now, keep in mind, everybody else in the NFL is world-class too, right? So there used to be this adage of, like, if you have to constantly talk about a guy's speed, his real problem is his hands. I've heard Ted Ginn Jr. and all I've heard was, yeah, Ted Ginn was like, wasn't he like an Olympic, like, didn't he like post an Olympic time when he was at Ohio State?
Well, John Ross has the fastest 40 time ever and can't stay on the field. If you look at the top 10 40 times of all time, one of them was a good player.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, you know where 40 times are really good for? Special teams. Now, here's where I think Bill may be a bit scar tissued, is over N'Keal Harry, because N'Keal Harry was everything in college. Everything in college. Everything you wanted to see on film. Everything you wanted, you couldn't question it. He was in a big-time conference. He was everything you wanted to see, and he's still there. So with Bill, take Bill out of the question. He's not taking a receiver in the first round at 20, unless like someone absolutely unbelievable. Let's just say Olave fell to 21. He takes him, right? But if it isn't that wowish, he's going to go second round with the back of his mind of, if this player doesn't work out, I can get off of him sooner than later. And he doesn't want another N'Keal Harry situation. So if the guy can burn and catch, great. If he can just burn and can't catch, all right, bro, just make sure you know the current wedge rules in the NFL when you're running down on special teams. Second rounder. So I filling up the running back room with the late round picks, I get.
By the way, pass catching.
So you're not really putting a lot of oomph and emphasis on who's the third back when you clearly have two running